Our first president,
I'll send you something.
James Young. Before I come, he said 5 years before, he's a Budokwa set up the club.
As Great Grandmaster Chong said, I had the privilege of training early and starting the U of M Club 55 years ago. And of course, now we're celebrating and honoring Great Grandmaster Chong, who has been here 50 years, right? And I can tell you that at our very first class, amazingly, we had over 60, 70 students. Probably 3/4 of the Michigan starting defense at that, football defense at that time, because they thought in a few lessons they would be trained killers. Quickly found out that the amount of commitment and discipline necessary was far beyond the commitments that they could make. And so you understand some of the background that Great Grandmaster Chong has given you. Because of visa issues, we also had to have a private club with which Great Grandmaster Chong could be employed. And it was called the Michigan Martial Arts Academy, which was in downtown Ann Arbor, and operated separately, but in conjunction with the Taekwondo Club. And Gary Goebel and Jack Hoyt were instrumental in helping taking this facility and turning it into a training facility that we could be proud of, where then students could train either in this private facility or at university facilities. And when this was set up, and I knew we were here to honor the 50th year of Great Grandmaster Chong involvement, two concepts came to mind. One, and he set me up beautifully for this, if I had to characterize him conceptually, would be warrior philosopher, right? And when I think of Great Grandmaster Chong and our club, what do I think of? The leaders and best. We were probably one of the first, if not the first, university-sponsored and recognized martial art clubs anywhere in this country, unquestionably in the Midwest. If you do your research, except maybe some judo clubs that we could never find maybe in California, in terms of being recognized by a university. We led in that regard. And not knowing that I would wind up doing postgraduate work at Michigan in the long term, there had to be an instructor found who could provide long-term training and services with the club. And time has proven that unquestionably the best possible selection could have been Great Grandmaster Chong. At that time we called Mr. Chong. Now I have to admit, the only thing that was negative is that he was getting a master's degree at Michigan State. But he committed to us and drove with tremendous support from his wife, Mrs. Chong. And you look at the leadership that he has provided nationally, internationally, helping transition Taekwondo from just a martial art to a worldwide Olympic sport. All right? And you look at the accomplishments that our club has done over these many decades, over a half a century. I mean, look at the Olympians. Look at what everything has been done. But I also have to go on to say, consistent with my earlier characterization of our respected warrior philosopher, all of us who have worked with him for a long time know that if we get an email, odds are very high there's going to be attached to that email some sort of treatise or some sort of historical information, totally consistent with the books that were handed out here today. Or if we wind up visiting, because I would periodically come back to Ann Arbor or other folks, odds are that whether it's just a social visit or having dinner, there's going to be a philosophical conversation as part of that interaction. Well, what I did in preparation for you nice folks is I wisely saved various types of treatises or information that he provided. And I wanted to make sure that he didn't repeat everything, but consistent with the concept that I talked about. Listen to the wisdom of this. These are quotes from Great Grandmaster Chong. Our Kunda Kwan vision combines Oriental philosophy with Western values to provide a truly universal outlook. Second, from a different document, our training goal should be to become true cosmopolitans, free from fear, who have united theory and action to realize that to a willing heart, nothing is impossible. Now understand, we use the term cosmopolitan a lot, and he defined that in one of his other articles as being essentially world citizens who value their own culture, but with a willingness to respect and adopt values of other cultures. Another quote from a different article, and I like this one. The ultimate goal of a martial artist should be to become a person who has combined mastery both in martial arts and literature, including ancient poetry and moral philosophy. We must always value character, building, and leadership, qualities above paper certificates. Lastly, we should be true cosmopolitans and exemplary human beings who change the world for the better. My friends, you understand why the concept, the leaders and best, came to mind when I thought of Great Grandmaster Chong and our club. It is what it is today because of his influence, his training, and all of you, whom I also respect, who have continued to foster and implement those traditions. Because understand, we're not talking about just who can kick the highest, punch the hardest, fight the best, but he also wants us to focus on the mental discipline that it takes to achieve your goals, including martial arts training, right? To improve and use that to improve yourself by education and analyzing and adopting what you believe are appropriate moral values. And lastly, not just to improve yourself, but to use what talents you have developed to help improve the world at large. I am telling you, I find it surprising, if not inconceivable, that most any other martial arts club is going to have this type of rich history. And I am very proud to have been associated with Great Grandmaster Chong, and I'm so happy that even after being undergraduates, I had a chance to do postgraduate education here and train with him further. He truly deserves all of our respect and admiration. Thank you all.
Mr. Lloyd is 1993 World Championship. He was the head of the U.S. team. So.
It's useful to have a little bit of time to think about this ahead of time. I shouldn't be surprised. I would echo what Master Young has said. And I want to thank you, Mr. Chong, on behalf of everybody here. We're all coming to an age where we look back and where people look to us and see what comes next. And you have provided, sir, a role model, a textbook, a course, and how to grow old with dignity, how to do it well. And for that, we have to thank you. You've helped us through our lives, and you help us at this stage of our lives. So, I'm speaking for those of us over 70 because that's what got me up here. And that's the kind of thing, I'm sorry, that's on our mind. Not all the time, but sometimes. And so, sir, it's with great respect and gratitude and appreciation. I'd like us all to thank you.
Thank you. That's the 10 points.
Surprise!
That's the technical.
At least got a warning. I don't know what else to say, but thank you for all of you for coming. My wife and I spent the last 48 hours to get here. We came 5,000 miles, and I came for one reason, and one reason only, to honor Mr. Chong. I just learned recently that he is a little bit older than I am. I thought he came to graduate school at Michigan State at the same time that I came to graduate school here. So I always assumed that he and I were the same age. But he actually is a few years older. And that came as a bit of a shock because, as Joe points out, when you're in your 70s, you begin to lose a lot of acquaintances and friends, some who will pass much younger, and it gives you a different perspective on how you got to where you are. And to a large extent, even though I left Taekwondo in the 70s, I never gave up all of the tools that Mr. Chong gave me for pursuing the rest of my life. And for that, I'm very, very grateful. And I'm going to pass the phone to Terry right now.
Oh, thank you very much.
You have my eternal gratitude for Noblesse Oblige. It's like Chung says, what it actually means is you have a nobility or a noble endeavor or obligation to pass on your knowledge to the next generation. I believe, who was it? Aristotle wrote in, I believe it was Nicomachean Ethics, thousands of years ago, is striving for their ultimate goal of mankind is to strive for the ultimate good, as in a commonwealth. I always like that expression myself, that the common good or a common wealth. But his wealth is between your ears, which helps build character. And you have my humblest admiration for that. I hope you continue to do what you're doing. Who's next?
Like I said, given even a few minutes to think about this.
I cede my time to Joe.
I hope I can speak for all of us. You know, the musical Hamilton, at the end, the song, who lives, who dies, who tells your story. Magnificent piece of music, magnificent sentiment. And the question is, who will tell your story? It's everyone here. And I hope everybody here understands that responsibility. I hope everybody here appreciates the gravity of it. And I hope that we do you proud. Thank you.
Good for me, Joe.
Behave over here. father.
Actually, technically, I am not over 70. When I started up, these guys here, they were the black belts, I was the white belt. These were the gods that could do anything. And then they brought you in, the super god, who could do everything. And my dad had a great respect for you, and he was very happy to help you. And he considered it a privilege to have an opportunity to assist you. And same for me, I've always seen you as a mentor and a role model. And I think us younger people all feel that way. Thank you.
Joe took my turn.
By the way, he challenged the Guinness Book. He went to the Antarctic jump, South and North Shore jump. He challenged to the high jumping, and only visionary can do.
There's my time. Any questions?
Or any jumping from challenge Guinness Book. He's 70, and he challenged the Bulls game in Spain. Bull going. So it's Don Quixote.
Is there anything else? Can I go back to my seat?
No.
Thank you. This is about him tonight, and it's about the club. So I want to stay focused on that. This isn't going to be very long because I just had ear tubes put in for my next jump, and I can't hear very well. You know, when I first started with Great Grandmaster Chong in the early 70s, the focus back then was on being a great kicker and puncher and being able to defend yourself and spar well and so forth, and he came up with new techniques and new ideas, and that was sort of his focus in that period of time. Over the years, I saw that morph into the cosmopolitan idea, where you need to be thinking not just about yourself, but about the rest of the people and the rest of the world around you. And lately, he's gone to the Noblesse Oblige way of thinking, which is passing on to people below you and lending a hand to people below you and making it more about helping other people be more successful and seeing things the right way. And he's been my teacher. He's been my friend, one of my very best friends, and for a great number of years. And I owe a lot to him. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much.